So, I do you want me to talk about um, how computers want to understand these languages and convert them
Yeah,
to themselves?
yeah.
Okay.
Let's get into it.
This is gonna be a lot, or not a lot, but this might be hard for some people to take in. Because there's a lot going on. So, when you go to programming languages, there's a lot of logic and functions and methods going on, and you really gotta understand, and the computer has to understand um, how to convert the words that you see in a programming language into machine code, also known as binary. Um, I wouldn't really call them the same thing. It's just that machine code is written in binary, and binary um, is a is a numbering system comprised of zeros and ones. And so, how this works is that when you take, it's hard to do this without an example because there's a lot of things that could be going on. But let's say you have a small script, in Java, just a random language Java.
Mm-hmm.
So what would happen first is that the compiler, which is essentially the program that converts that script of like Java or Python or Ruby or JavaScript, it would convert that script into machine code, and that's what the compiler does. But some languages are interpreted, which is a different way um, of converting script code into machine code. Um, but essentially, the compiler, what it does is that it's gonna do something called lexical analysis first, which is where it divides each letter or each statement or each word or each number or each symbol into tokens. And then those tokens are going to be sent into a parse tree, which is basically a hierarchy of commands of what each token would be. And this is called syntactic analysis. And then it would take these tokens and see, okay, so this is the hierarchy of how these tokens are going to run in the program and how these tokens connect to each other. And then they're all going to be stored into a symbol tree in a certain way, or a symbol table, which is going to correspond to each value to a piece of data, which could be a piece of memory, or the value or reference to whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
then more things happen, such as object linking, converting to assembly code, and more things. And this is called the intermediate phase, but I'm not going to go into detail because there's a lot. I don't think it's too useful to know, but maybe some would find it useful. But then, after that intermediate phase, then everything is converted into something called assembly language. It's a very low-level scripting language, not or a code language, that it looks kind of hard or kind of weird to interpret because there's a lot of dollar signs,
Mm-hmm.
and memory addresses, and like a weird layout of statements. Um, but essentially, one of the lowest level programming languages, or it is the lowest level programming language. And then that is converted to machine code, which is binary, or what the computer actually can feed to the CPU, and then pass each 1 and 0 into actual instructions. And that is basically what's going on when you run that piece of code.
Wow.